Okay.
All right, hello and welcome. So glad to have you with us watching live. We're going to be talking today all about how to optimize your website for maximum conversion. How to make sure that when visitors get to the site, they are compelled to either call you, chat with you, book an appointment with you, and convert. Really, that's what we're after: converting at the highest level possible. What we found is your website and its ability to convert can really make the difference between your website, and your marketing not performing, and your website and marketing performing really, really well. So let's dive into it. This is part of our overall digital dominance method. What we really feel like to maximize your lead flow online, you want to have a great website that's built to convert. You want to be, showing up organically in the non-paid listings. You want to be driving paid traffic with local service ads and Google ads. You want to have retargeting in place to be in front of those prospects that leave the page but don't convert. You want to have marketing automation in place so that you're following up with the leads that you do get. And you really want to be showing up in all of the places that your clients and potential customers are looking. And this is our digital dominance method to truly maximize your lead flow online. Today, we're going to focus on number one, A1, which is your foundation, right? Making sure you got a great website that's built to convert, because that's going to be a bottleneck at which all of your other marketing either perform well or don't perform well. So a couple of housekeeping, if you could turn off your cell phones, turn off Facebook. If you're really serious about getting better results from your website, let's just give this our undivided attention. My goal is to keep this to about 45 minutes to an hour for you guys, give you some very specific actionable insights on what you can do with your website to improve conversion rates. So just give me the one in the comments if you're okay with that. Just a quick one in the comments. Make sure that this is good with everybody. You're going to focus here. You're going to be dialed in, paying attention. Excellent. Thanks, guys. So just real quick, who I am and why you should listen to me. I'm the author of the Internet Marketing Guide for Plumbing and HVAC Contractors. Very active in QSC, ACCA, Nexstar Network. I've spoken at a lot of the industry events and association meetings. But I'd really say more than any of that stuff is the fact that at this point, I've had the opportunity to work with hundreds of plumbing and HVAC companies in some of the most competitive markets in the country, and be able to help them go from obscurity online to the point where they're now the dominant player, generating hundreds, if not thousands of leads per month. And many of them have seen over $1 million in revenue growth during our time working together. So what I'm going to share with you today isn't based on theory. It's not based on a book I read somewhere. It's really based on actual outcomes in working with home service companies just like yourself.
Right.
And this is what we do. As an organization, Plumbing and HVAC SEO is a digital marketing agency. Right now, we're on a mission to help 1,000 plumbing, HVAC, home service companies triple their sales. And, we've got a team of about 35 full-time employees, some in the United States, some international. And this is what we do day in and day out. Build websites for plumbing and HVAC contractors, get them ranked, make sure that the campaigns are performing well. And so if you'd like some help with that, if you'd like to talk with us about how we can help set up your website correctly and drive better results, we'd love the opportunity to chat. And you can just chat in at any time or reach out to us by going to plumberseo.net/schedule. We'll take you through a free evaluation and talk with you a little bit about what we do and kind of how much it costs and whether it's a right fit for you or not.
Okay.
So let's get into it. I like to always frame these sessions with a problem, right? There's no sense learning about conversion if there's not a problem to solve for. And what we're finding is you guys, as plumbing, HVAC, home service businesses, are making a big investment in marketing, right? You're making a big investment in your truck wraps, in some branding in the market. Usually you're spending a lot of money in website, SEO, pay-per-click advertising. And it's kind of across the spectrum. You've tried a lot of different companies. And what's really frustrating is you're getting traffic, right? Because you're paying for local service ads, you're paying for Google ads, maybe you're paying for Angie's List and you're paying for Nextdoor, but not enough leads, not enough qualified leads in your market to to really get the job counts that you need. And oftentimes you wind up with a low ROI. I talk with 15, 20 home service contractors a week, and I hear it all the time. Like I've spent a lot of money, like $5, $10, $15,000 a month in my online marketing, but I only generate enough to break even, if that, right? And that can be super frustrating when you're trying all of the things and it's just not working. Right. Give me one in the comments if you've experienced this at some level. You feel like you're spending the money, you feel like you're willing to put money towards online marketing and marketing in general, but just the results aren't there, and you wind up frustrated.
Yeah, like the screen says, I got a guy outside playing basketball right now, and park trucks, and I've got a couple calls up there, but not enough to make a difference.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest opportunity cost for you guys as home service contractors. The most expensive problem to solve for right now is finding good technicians, getting them trained. Usually that's the big bottleneck in this business. And right. So the one thing you can't afford is a marketing strategy that leaves trucks parked, because technicians can find jobs elsewhere and will leave, and that will become a massive problem for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But luckily I've got a good team, and I mean, we're making enough money to keep them happy, but I don't know how long you've been in this business, but that could change overnight.
Yeah.
I've had guys that were making good money to leave over $1 an hour raise. It's like, really? After taking care of you all this time, and you're going to leave over $1? You have no idea that that's only $40 extra a week on your paycheck.
Yeah, it's crazy. And loyalty will only get you so far, right? They'll love you, but if they're not making the money they need to feed their family, right. And they're not getting consistent job flow, they need to, right? Because there's just too much opportunity in other companies. And so this is really important. Like what we're going to talk about today is super important, because if you don't generate the leads for the investment, and you can't grow, right? You can't serve those jobs. You can't continue to grow your team. You can't continue to serve the local marketplace.
Right.
And so the goal, and really what we're looking to solve for on today's session, is make sure that you've got a great website that's built to convert. You consistently can convert a visitor into a lead, and in my opinion, even more important, that convert a lead into a booked job, which generates consistent revenue for your business. You've got a full schedule with your trucks running, your business booming, and really a model that you could say, okay, I've got enough lead flow and I've got enough knobs that I can turn, that I can confidently say, hey, now it's time to go get that next truck. It's time to go recruit that next technician, because right. You can generate enough leads to make that a reality. I think that's when you can get momentum and consistent growth in your business. And so the success we're after, really what we're looking to do, is get the phones ringing, the trucks running, and the business booming. So just give me a 1 in the comments if that's a good outcome. That's what we'd look to solve for on today's session.
Yes, no, and you're exactly right. My goal is I've got one AC truck and four plumbing trucks, and my goal is to add another 5 trucks, another 5 plumbing trucks. And
excellent.
I'd like we did right at let's see, where'd it go? Can you give me 1 second? Let me see if my secretary.
Hey, Casey, while you grab that, just probably best would be for us to schedule a 1-to-1 with you and Christian. That way Christian can walk you right through like where you're at right now. The target is those 5 additional trucks. What would it look like to make that a reality? Okay. And so, Christian, I'm not sure if you're on, or Rick, if you can get him the link, a direct link to schedule that, because this is more of like a group session. There's about 30 other contractors on, and we're really focused on maximizing conversion.
Okay, no problem. Yeah,
I appreciate your engagement, guys. I want that engagement. Let's keep this as interactive as possible.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So,
no problem.
So your website really is the hub. Like if you think about your marketing strategy as a whole, whether it's your truck wraps, whether it's the print ad that you're doing, whether it's Facebook ads or website ads, the reality is everybody before they convert, which means they pick up the phone and call, or they submit a form, or they start a chat, they're going to wind up on your website. And so the website really has to be well honed and built to convert. Otherwise, you'll be literally hemorrhaging leads, hemorrhaging opportunities.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And I recently had a website built. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, but I think it's pilot dog shit. I had a website before that I was really impressed by, and for the first couple of years it seemed to really produce. But then I don't know what happened. It just went down, and I really couldn't get an answer out of my guy. So I had to move on to a company called Matoza, and Matoza, I've given them, let's see here. I've given those guys, let's see, where are we at here? Okay, let's just keep it simple.
Hey, Casey, just so you know, there's probably about another 30 other contractors on with us. This is more of a group session. So I don't know if you want to disclose those details like in a group format like this. Happy to have the two-way conversation. But if you want to like get one-to-one, I'm going to have Christian give you the link, and you guys, it'll just be a one-to-one specifically based on your business and kind of what you're spending, where there's room for improvement, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man, I'm not scared.
Glad to put it out there, huh? Okay.
Hey, what's the worst could happen? Last year total between Angie's leads and Google. Let's see what else we got. Google AdWords. The cost of doing Matoza, AdWords. I've got a little ad I run in a local paper, and Home Advisor. I spent a total of $92,000.
Nice budget. Casey, I'm just going to pause you real quick because I need to keep the content going. I really appreciate the interaction here. Let's hold like questions until the end. And then I know on my team, Rick Vega and Christian Ortega are going to reach out right now. And if you want to jump on a separate session to kind of dive into it, happy to do that. Cool?
Good.
Awesome. All right. So let's talk about why conversion is so important. Here's the reality. Let's say you have 1,500 visitors a month coming to the website via whatever channel, whether it's SEO, organic, paid search, and you convert at 5%. And I've looked at a lot of home service, plumbing, HVAC specific sites, and I find the average is somewhere between 5 and 15%. That's kind of the average, which if you look at how many visitors do we get versus how many of them actually called in or how many of them actually submitted a form, that's about the average. So let's just say your website's not performing really well. It's down on the lower spectrum of that. It's like 5%. For that 5%, you'd have about 75 calls or leads, right? And let's just say your conversion from lead to book job is 30%. That would mean you have 22 booked jobs. Let's say your average transaction is $450. I know a lot of us have a much higher average transaction than this. You generate about $10,000 in revenue for that traffic that's already existed, that's already getting to your website.
Right.
Now, let's flip that, and let's say we can generate the same amount of traffic, like without spending an additional dollar on ads, without spending an additional dollar on SEO. Let's say we can bump that to 15%. Right? I'm going to show you example after example on today's session of plumbing and HVAC websites converting north of 30%. And I'm going to show you exactly the elements of the website that make that happen. But let's just say as an example, you can go from 5% to 15% conversion without changing anything else. You generate 225 leads or calls, keep the conversion rate the same. You'd have 67 booked jobs, keep the average transaction value the same. You have 450 average transaction value.
Yeah.
Just with that little tweak, you go from 10,000 in revenue to $30,000 in revenue.
Right.
And so that's why I really think this is mission critical to get your website dialed in, to know how well it's converting, and to really maximize that conversion rate. Because that's one thing. Like let's maximize the traffic already to the site, but it also then gives you the ability as you look to scale. Let's spend more on Facebook. Let's spend more on Google Ads. Let's drive more organic traffic. Every single visitor becomes more valuable and generates more book jobs and more revenue for you.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. No, that would be great. That would be great. And
so let me show you an example of this. One of the companies we work with in Fargo, North Dakota is Laney's. They're a plumbing, HVAC, electrical contractor. It's like the tale of two websites. Over here on the side is the site that they came to us with, and it's been several years now since we started working together. But this was their site. They're pretty well branded in the marketplace. So that, they run radio, they run billboards, they're a well-known company. And so they had lots of traffic. But the website, being the way that it was, didn't have any personality, didn't have any authenticity, didn't give people a reason to choose them versus the competition. And so we rolled out a new version of the site using all of the key things I'm going to be showing you on today's webinar, personality, authenticity, conversion elements in the right place. And what happened was, their call volume for the same traffic went from 55 calls in a month to over 317 calls tracked on the website in 1 month. So without driving more leads, without driving more traffic, without paying more in ads, just converting more of the existing traffic was really what moved the needle for them. And if we kind of fast forward here, you can see 930 leads tracked on a $2,490 spend, average of $2.68 per lead. This is obscene. Like, this doesn't happen in 99% of the cases. So I don't want you to think this is the result we drive consistently. We're seeing more like an average of $20 to $30 per lead blended. But this is just a great case, right? They already had traffic. We were just converting it at a higher level. And so that's the potential, right? That's the potential. If you have a website that isn't converting the way that it should, and you've got existing traffic, we're gonna help you make more money and book more jobs. Now, on the flip side to that, if you don't have a ton of traffic, you still need a great website so that you can start to drive the traffic. Just give me one in the comments if that makes sense. If intuitively, this is worth investing time and energy in, and it's worth getting this really dialed in at the highest level that you possibly can. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So I did put together a workbook for this, and you can pull it up by going to plumberseo.net/convert-workbook. Basically, if you click this link, I'm not sure if Rick or somebody on the team can drop this into the chat. It will open up this workbook. And we'll go back and forth on this document. The main thing is I want you to have some action items so that when you leave the session, you're not just like, okay, I've got some ideas, but you really have some insights you can look at with the team and specific things you can go back and execute on the website. So I want to talk about 12 critical factors that will help your website convert. I'll talk about this real high level, and then we'll go into the real examples. So you can see the websites, you can see the exact things that make them convert the way that they do. First and foremost, you want to make sure that your website speaks to the target avatar, which is just a fancy way of saying, like, who's your customer? Who's the customer you actually want to work with? And what are their fears? What are their frustrations? Why should they choose you versus the competition? I see in a lot of cases when I look at plumbing and HVAC websites, they're usually very technically heavy, and or they're very SEO centric, right? Somebody convinced them this is an SEO only thing, and so they put a lot of keywords: duct cleaning, AC repair. We have this Train 9000 system, right? And it's very technical, but to convert at a higher level, what you want to do is think about your ideal customer. Think about the problem they're looking to solve and like what they're actually looking for. And if you can speak that into the website through the messaging, through the imagery, you're going to convert at a higher level. So really think about the messaging on the page itself. Number two, and most people don't realize this, is you want to be real. And by that, I mean you want to have authentic images of you, if you're the owner of the business, of your team and your technicians, of your trucks. People like to do business with real people. They like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And oftentimes, home service companies, plumbing, HVAC websites, they want it to look pretty, and they prioritize pretty over effective. And so what I see often is a picture of a smiling family, maybe a stock photographer of a handsome or not so handsome plumbing technician holding a wrench. And it might look really good, but what your customer wants is, okay, this is real plumbing HVAC company in my area. They can show up today. They're going to provide quality service. They're going to stand behind their word, and they're legit. They're real, because I can see, like, there's Dave Burns. Like, there he is. He's a real guy, and it's authentic. So be authentic with the website. It can have a big impact on your conversion.
Josh, did you look at my website? And we got A+ rating with BBB. Got like 148
140 reviews.
148 reviews, and
Amazing.
I believe it's 4.8 rating.
Nice.
Got really
hey, Casey, let's do this. Drop the link into the chat, and what I'll do is, as I go through, we'll use yours as an example, and we'll be able to say, hey, this is what's good. This is where there's room for improvement. I love to do that. So do you see where the chat bubble is?
Chat bubble, down at the bottom.
Yep. You should be able to comment. If not, I'll get the website address for you at the appropriate time. Okay. Number 3, what we want to do is we want to use video and multimedia. More and more people like to see video, right? If they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, a video is worth 1,000,000. So there's no reason, with the technology that exists on our phones today, that you can't shoot a quick video, either you standing next to the truck, you in front of your building, or just you at a house. Just a quick video saying, hey, welcome to our website. This is who we are. This is what we do. If you've got this problem, this is how we can help. And this is the area we serve. Just quick videos like that on your homepage and on the service pages of your website are going to do 2 things. Number 1, they're going to improve stick rate, which means somebody will stay on your website a little bit longer because they saw some pictures and they saw a video. Maybe they play 30 seconds. Maybe they play a minute. That's going to help with your SEO, because if their time on site is higher, that tells Google that must be a relevant page to that particular browser. And it's going to help resonate, right? If they see a video of you and they like what you have to say versus just an anonymous page with just text, you're going to convert better. Like, they're going to be more likely to pick up the phone and choose you as opposed to price shopping you. So use multimedia. I'm surprised how many plumbing and HVAC companies don't do this at all. They don't use any pictures of themselves, and they don't have any video speaking to the customer. So I think you want to have a welcome to your website video. You want to have a video for each of your services. So if you do drain cleaning, if you do water heater repair, if you do indoor air quality, have a video for each one of those. And again, it has a dual effect. First effect is it's going to resonate and help convert. Second effect, it's going to be on YouTube and it's going to drive more relevancy to the page. It's going to help with your SEO rankings. Number 4 is we want to leverage social proof. All other things being equal, every single homeowner, once they look at your site, once they feel like, okay, you seem like a legit organization, is going to go and run a quick search, maybe on Yelp, maybe on Angie's List, maybe on Google, and they want to see, just like Casey said, how many reviews do they have? What's their average rating? What are their customers saying about them? And so you want to leverage that social proof. And whether you're using a tool like Birdeye or Review Buzz or PulseM, you want to have those reviews accessible right inside your website so that they can see, wow, this is a legit company. Look at what other people are saying about them. Now, in addition to that, you want to make sure that you get the basics in order, right? Phone number in the top right-hand corner. Ensure that you get a web form where people can start a conversation. Not everybody wants to call. Some people just prefer to fill out a form and have you get back to them. Add your credibility factors, which would be like BBB, Angie's List, known brands. Like if you're Super Service Awards or if you're BBB accredited, that helps with the authority. Number 6, ensure that you've got clear calls to action, which means don't just have a long text about your indoor air quality service and leave it at that, which some SEO providers might just like, we want to rank for indoor air quality, so let's write a lot of text. We want to make sure at the end of all of our blocks of text, we tell them what to do next, right? Which is just very specifically, hey, if you'd like to book a service call or you have some questions, click here to schedule a time now or call us at this number. You want to tell them what to do next. You want to have a very clear call to action. You want to leverage special offers, incentives, coupons. Really important, you want to make sure that the website is mobile optimized. We're finding that more than 70% of traffic coming to your plumbing, HVAC, home service website is in the form of a mobile device. Like they're not sitting at their computer and looking most of the time for the plumbing company that can come out to the house. Like they've got a problem. They're dealing with the kids in the other room. They got other things going on. They're just running a quick Google search and clicking on your site. And so you want to make sure that your website fits nicely in the frame of the mobile phone and it has a quick click to call function. Really important. You also want to make sure that it loads extremely quickly. Number 9 is you want to leverage live chat. There's been a pivot that's happened in the industry where, 2 years, 3 years ago, the number one way that a customer wanted to convert was they wanted to call you, right? They wanted to call and talk to somebody and say, hey, Dave Burns, yep, can you get somebody out to my house today? How much is it going to cost? Awesome, thanks. And like your team then dispatches it and schedules it. Today, and more in the future, your customer, if they have the opportunity to text with you, will choose to text, right? I don't know about you. If somebody calls me and I have the opportunity to exchange in a text message communication, I would prefer that. It's easier, it's lower friction. I know not everybody feels this way, but if you had the opportunity, and this is like a time for user engagement here, if you had the opportunity to solve a problem via two-way text message versus a live phone call, which would you choose? Put 1 if you prefer text, 2 if you'd prefer to do a long, drawn-out phone call. Dave, I'm not surprised. Okay, so a lot of you guys are saying 2, and that's fine. Your customer, today's customer, would prefer to engage with you on two-way text. Hey, Dave, I'd love to see what your daughter says right behind you. Like if she has the choice. 1, text message. Yes.
Yeah, I had that. Oh, yeah, but he is good with the phone. He can talk people into replacing something that needs to be replaced if he gets a chance to get them on the phone.
I convert about 8 out of 10 phone calls into an actual service call.
Yeah.
That's great. And listen, I'm not saying we want to shy away from phone calls. Like we still want phone calls. But knowing that your next generation consumer would rather do a text, if you don't have that option for them and they can click to the next company's website and see the opportunity to a text and to schedule their appointment right there without having to talk, they're gonna go to somebody else. And this could be a reason that you lose some of the deals that you might not.
Really?
Yeah, those texts are coming through with job requests.
Yeah. Number 10 is we want to give them the option to book online. The technology exists now with House Call Pro, with Service Titan, with Schedule Engine, with Conversion Amp, where you can schedule, show your schedule, have it publicly available online, and let the customer know. If you just want to book a service call right now, just click this button, pick the time that works for you, and we'll get the team out there. There are companies already implementing this that already have this dialed in. And again, it's just that same thing. Like if they have the opportunity to book online and eliminate the friction, they're going to choose that option. So you want to make sure that you have two-way texting, you have that automatic booking available online. Number 11 is site speed is mission critical. Like if your website doesn't load in a second or less, you're going to be losing visitors, especially on the mobile device. Like they click on your site, if it doesn't load extremely quickly, when they're on 3G, when they're out in the backyard, it's going to hurt your conversion rates. It's also going to hurt your SEO ranking. Site speed is super important. And then last but not least is we want to engage via SMS, phone, and marketing automation. We're thinking about how to maximize conversion. not just from visitor to lead, but from lead to book job, we want to make sure that we're putting some automations in place so that, let's say somebody calls in and we missed that call, they get a text message. Hey, we saw you called in. Sorry you missed it. So that if they submit a web form on our site, putting in their name and their email and their contact details, that we follow up automatically via the phone, via SMS and email within 5 minutes or less. Right? We found that web forms that don't get followed up with in 5 minutes or less tend to go to another competitor. There's this speed to lead advantage that a lot of us are missing out on. And so we want to make sure that we're leveraging technology. This technology exists where you can automate the quickness of your follow-up, and you can also automate multiple touches where that lead might get emailed or text messaged by you 3 or 4 times over a 48-hour window of time. And we're finding that that automation can bridge the gap and help you book a lot more jobs. So, I know it's hard to look at bullets like this and kind of just, show me some visuals, but give me a one if you're following along. Like if you're saying, okay, these are some critical things that I want to think about from my website to help maximize my conversion rates. Excellent. Very, very good. So again, the one element that has the biggest impact, in my opinion, on the overall success or failure of your internet marketing efforts is whether your website is optimized to convert. And so now what I want to do, now that I've explained it high level, I want to show you real life visuals, and I want to show you the outcomes and the results that can happen when you get this dialed in. So I want to show you one of our clients that we work with, Valley Plumbing, and they're based in the Salt Lake City, Utah area. Let's just pull up their website real quick. And as I walk through this, I want you to think about those conversion elements. I want you to think about how you can infuse those conversion elements into your site. And so as we get to the site, you'll see personality and authenticity front and center, right? This is Lawrence Snow. He's the owner of the business. This is Robbie, his son, and this is the team, and these are their trucks, right? When you get to this site, the first thing you see is this looks like a real company. They're smiling at me. They seem very friendly. It's not overwhelming. Like you could have he's got a huge team. You could have 100 people on here, but it's just like some of the key people in the business where it makes you feel like these guys seem solid, right? And you can book an appointment right here. I think this is integrated with their Service Titan straight in through Schedule Engine. Lots of different ways to do that, giving the customer the opportunity to pick a time right out of the gates. Oops, all right, I gotta close that out. Phone number in the top right-hand corner, very easy to access. And you'll notice like within this initial frame, like this small frame here, you've got everything you need to make a buying decision. Personality, authenticity, phone number in the top right-hand corner, book a time, and then speaking to the customer avatar. Exceptional service, quality workmanship, 24/7. Right? And we'll talk about the psychological things that your customers are trying to solve for before they reach out to you. But then we can scroll down, right? We're going to educate the customer, no mess, experienced team. You can see there's professional design and branding elements in this site. Leveraging these social credibility factors, right? They're home advisor screened and approved. They're BBB accredited. Some people don't know your company yet, but they recognize these brands. They recognize these organizations, and that lends trust to you. Real world reviews of their real customers, and then we can even go in and see them by source, right? So actually, we recognize our clients that get the most reviews, and they had 613 reviews in a single year. Like I think this was 2021, they generated 613 new reviews for their business. But you want to showcase all of these reviews, all of the great feedback that you're getting. So 2,219 customer reviews with an average 4.9 star rating. This is compelling. It's like, wow, this is a quality organization. Multimedia, like if we wanted to stay on this page and hear from Robbie and kind of get some sense as to why somebody would do business with them versus the competition, it's right there. I'm not going to play the video, but you guys are getting the basic gist. So kind of what you can expect, right? And I'll come back to these elements in a second. Hassle-free, superior service, competitive, honest pricing, 24-hour live answer. This one's important. because your customers, one of their biggest struggles, whether you realize it or not, is they've got a problem. Plumbing's not working, AC's not working.
Josh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I've been trying to get your attention, but yeah, it says mute, but now it says unmute. I don't know. But anyway, hell, now done forgot half my more questions. Have you looked at my website?
We're going to pull it up next. Budgethomeservices.com.
Yes.
We're going to go there next, bud. Yep. And I'll talk through this. I just wanted for everybody else kind of lay the land, kind of like in terms of what you want to do from a conversion perspective. So, I want to show you what the performance of this website is and kind of what the elements are that make it work. So looking at our tracking, they generate about 510 leads on a $10,000 spend per month. So their average cost per lead, if you divide that out, it's about $18.81 in a major metropolitan area of Salt Lake City. And we kind of can see 333 came from organic, 115 from pay-per-click, 61 from Google Maps to give us 510 leads. But really what I want you to see here is the conversion rate from visitor to lead. Okay, so 3,317 visitors generated that number of calls, specifically from organic. So you can see that's a 35% conversion rate. A lot of times I'm very active in the digital marketing space when it comes to other agencies that build websites and do SEO. And I say, we're converting our websites for home services like 30 to 35% or greater. And most of them are like, that's not possible, right? That it just can't be done. The reality is if you get these elements right, you can get north of 30%. I'll show a number of examples just like this. So let's do this, guys. Let's get Dave's website up. Casey's website up and kind of run it through this lens of what are the right elements that would help maximize conversion. So let's pull this up. Oops, I did it wrong. Budgethomeservices.com. All right. So budget home services, there's good and bad, right? Always good and bad. Phone number in the right-hand corner, that's great. Reviews, good. Schedule online, okay, takes me to a standard contact form. Not so good, right? This is obviously not a real technician. It's not a real guy. It's just a stock image. So we want to have personality and authenticity. I would really want to get that out in front. AC services in the greater Houston area, looking for the best plumber or air conditioning company, question mark, could be much stronger, right? Think about the problem that the person has. Like they want to know that you're going to be able to maybe come same day, next day. You're going to provide quality service. Are you available to answer phone live? I think you could be a little bit stronger with the messaging to resonate with the customer here. We're a full service plumbing HVAC company is dedicated to. So this is nuance, but when you write copy, you always want to use you phrasing. So like speak in the form of like what the customer needs and wants and use you instead of we. And so this is coming at it from we're the best and we're Houston's full service plumbing HVAC company dedicated to customer satisfaction, been in business. So it's all about you and our philosophy versus, do you have this problem? Do you need this help? Do you want same day service? Give me a one if that makes sense. We're just going to see if this video. So good here. You've got some multimedia. Looks pretty solid. It is generic, right? So I would think you want to have more speaking and less like just animated graphics. This would be better, Casey, if it was you or your dad saying, hey, welcome to the website. Here's who we are. Here's what we do. Here's why people choose us versus the competition. I think this is good. Is this you? Looks like you muted. No worries. We'll keep going. Lots of service listings. I prefer this to be phrased in benefits for the client. Schedule online. It does take us to a form. We do have a phone number. I think that's pretty solid conversion elements there. We've got some testimonials, some reviews. Would be more powerful if these reviews had like the source, right? Can I see which came from Yelp, which came from Angie's List, which came from Google Maps, and then we've got the web form. I think the other thing that would really help with conversion on this site would be to have a chat bubble that comes up. That way they can start that two-way text message. And I would say when it says schedule online, in my mind, that's like, let me pick a date and time, where this is literally just a web form. So I would say like request an appointment as opposed to schedule an appointment, unless they can book right into the calendar. So I think there's definitely room for improvement, in terms of how you can convert this at a higher level. My guess, without knowing, is this probably converts like around 10 to 15%. And I'd be glad to kind of look at the traffic trends with you and kind of see how well this performs. I see you're speaking, but I think you're muted. Let me give you the ask to unmute button here. Hopefully for the rest of you, we're going to show some more examples, but hopefully this illuminates. I always find that I learn more by example, like looking at, okay, I just saw a good example. I just saw where there's room for improvement, and kind of looking at it through that lens helps to make it clearer.
Can you hear me?
Casey, go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Okay. I paid this guy, Matoza, $4,000, and I think it's a steaming pile of shit. Okay. It really is. I mean, with the generic guy, he doesn't look like a plumber. He's not, and then, I can't control it. But like you say, I think we should do better with, pictures or videos of us, some of the guys, some of the trucks, maybe even changing out a water heater or something like that. But is there any way you can find my old website, the one that I liked, in the way that my trucks are wrapped? See if you can pull that up.
If I don't find it right off the bat, I'm gonna go forward, because we do want to keep pressing forward for the sake of the others that are on. But is this it? This isn't it, is it? Casey, let's do this. I know we're scheduled for one-to-one with you and Christian. We'll make sure to pull that up so we can look at it as a point of reference. Like I said, we can manage this whole process for you, like build the new site, make sure it's built to convert following our process. And we'd love to chat with you about that.
Hey, Josh.
So let's look at another example. I'm not going to example you to death, but let's look at Meridian Advantage. This is a company we work with in the East Lansing market. Again, you can see phone number in the top right-hand corner, most trusted home service name, schedule your service. We talk about the services, but your problem is our priority. Always ready, trusted techs, professional, full service solutions, community-minded, satisfaction guaranteed. Like, we're really speaking to what the customer wants to hear in order to choose us versus the competition. But you want to make sure you're messaging that and not just talking about, things that may not be relevant. 835 reviews. We can click into this and see the exact source of these reviews, right? Home Advisor, Angie, Home Advisor, etc. We've got some great video testimonials of their actual clients saying about, how great they are and why like what the experience was. We've got the ability to schedule right here. And then chat bubbles aren't coming up. There are chat on all of these sites. I got to look into why these chat bubbles aren't coming up, because you should absolutely have that chat bubble popping up. Hey, do you want to chat now? And have that two-way text messaging right there, front and center. So I want to show you on this site, again, let's look at the metrics here. $7,000 spend, 677 leads per month, $11.64 per lead. Right? It's like 204 from organic, 171 from pay-per-click, 263 from Google Maps. And if we just isolate the organic, because that's really what we're looking at from a conversion perspective, you can see on 1,145 visitors, that's a 32% click to call ratio. Another example, converting at 30+%. I'd be curious, does anybody else want to pull their website up as an example? We looked at Casey's. Anybody else want to kind of have theirs pulled up? Here is another client we work with in Nixco. Corey, put the link in for us. There you go. There's our trusty chat bubble. So we've got personality, picture of him, and every one of our clients is resistant to have their picture on the site because we're not necessarily egomaniacs. Maybe we don't like the way we look on camera, but that's what works, right? That's what's going to resonate with the customers best. And I really recommend it be the owner or the main representative of the business. So we've got that. We've got the opportunity to read reviews. We've got the schedule button right here. We can start a two-way text message right here, start this conversation. Now it goes to their cell phone and they're texting back and forth with you, but your dispatcher or you are just on the other side having a great two-way conversation. Video of him there ready to chat. And really speaking again, I'll hit this again and again about the reason somebody wants to choose you and the psychological triggers that they're looking to solve for. So hopefully seeing some examples here kind of helps to bridge the gap between what could be done and what should be done in order to get better results. So $5,872 in spend, 535 leads. That's about $10.99 average cost per lead. You can see kind of like what the diversification of those lead sources are. On 1,000 visitors, about a 38% conversion rate. So I told you guys I was going to show you example after example after example of websites converting at 30% or higher. Give me one if it's helpful to see this and kind of know like this isn't hypothetical. Like these are real examples. These are real companies and things that you can apply on your own, or you can tap us and say, hey, look, you guys have a proven model. I'd love to hire you guys to do this for us. What I want to do now, I saw a couple of you guys put in here, so I wanted to jump on Dr. Home Experts, which is, I believe, one of our newest clients. Really excited to have you on board. Excited about working with you. Let's see. So, I mean, it's a pretty website. I think it needs more personality and authenticity. It feels like a lot, like we're not getting like that above the fold sense of, this is Dr. Home Experts. This is who they are. This is why I should call them right now to schedule a service call. We do have the chat bubble, which is good. We want to keep that going. We do have the opportunity to call in, schedule a time. It feels a little bit anonymous to me. Other than here, we got some of the people.
Busy. It's very busy. It's to me, if I like straight to the point. A lot of that stuff is just fill in the blank type, just generic.
It looks a little bit like a template, and there's a lot of stuff jammed in.
And this is what I'm talking about here, where the doctor's always in. They could have put something way better. I mean, it's a nice catchy phrase, but they didn't need to make it the actual banner for the whole website.
Right. Good news is you guys are on board. We're super excited about helping you revamp this. We should do a case study here in a couple of months to show the difference and how the website converts much better. So I'll definitely put that on my notes to do. Excellent. All right. Great stuff, guys. Happy to continue to like kind of go through examples. But I do want to be respectful of everybody's time. We're already at like 48 minutes in. So I'll kind of leave some time at the end if anybody's got questions or if they want to, they want us to kind of look at their website and pull it apart. I do have a resource for you guys. For those of you that want a cheat sheet to go along with this, if you go to go.plumbersco.net/cheat sheet, that will take you to a page. It kind of helps you look at these key elements. You've also got the workbook for this. I want to see the other thing I really want to spend a little bit of time on, because we're running out of time and I want to be conscious, is outside of the way your website converts. The next important thing is really making sure that you're jumping on those opportunities and converting them, right? Converting them into book jobs at the highest level possible. And like I said before, the problem I'm seeing, I've worked with over 350 plumbing HVAC companies across the country, is that 50 to 60% of your inbound leads, these are people in your service area that are looking for what you do, leave unconverted, which means they said they'll talk to their partner or they'll check with somebody else. Unless you're Dave converting it like 90%, this is what we see on average, right? Because your dispatcher just doesn't know how to convert those opportunities. The other thing we see is that almost 90% of web forms fail to convert. And I usually, our team will mystery shop this before sales call. Like before we meet with you, we'll go onto the form and submit it. And we'll say, hey, this is my name, this is what I'm looking for, and here's my phone number, just to see how long it takes to get a call back. And what we find is most of those forms either don't get a call back, or they get a call back much later, right? Give me a one if let's face it, you just don't have the time, you don't have the bandwidth, you don't have the energy to make sure those web forms and web chats get followed up with right away. You'd almost need like a full-time person just focused on that. So here's why. Here's why I really think that lead conversion is the big issue. Leads that don't get followed up within 15 minutes or less go cold. The average customer needs to be touched 5 to 7 times before booking. So I'm talking about specifically those customers that didn't convert right on the call, right? And most of you guys, if you take a gut check, you're only taking the initial call booked, right? They called in and they said yes, and you put it on the board. And if they didn't, nobody's putting that on a follow-up tracker or trying to call them back or try to see where they're at, right? So you're leaving a lot of these unconverted opportunities on the table. And the third is that today's customer would prefer to interact via text than phone call or email for that matter. And so the solution is there is marketing automation that now exists where you can leverage automation to follow up with your forms in 2 minutes. Right? Every single form that comes in can have automation set up where that person submits the form, they immediately get a text message. Hey, thanks for submitting the form on the site. Are there any questions that I can answer for you? And they get a call. And the way that works is the system would call your office and it would either call you or whoever your dispatcher is, and they would answer it and it would say, you have a new lead. Press 1 to connect now. And because they're being forced into it, they press 1 and that dials out to the prospect. We found that just that two-step process, making sure the calls are going out immediately and then making sure that a text message is there, has a huge impact on conversion rates. Now, the other thing we can do with automation is really catch those unconverted leads, like the people that didn't respond on your email or they didn't book right on there. We can put automation where they get a check-in tomorrow. Hey, just wanted to circle back. You had expressed interest in X, like, changing out that water heater system. You still need help with that. And because it's text message, it's really easy for them to write back, oh yeah, it's something I'm still interested in. And then you can write back, well, hey, do you want to go ahead and schedule a time? We can get somebody out there tomorrow, right? And you can have automatic touches happening until they either say, yeah, I'd like to book it, or no, I've already booked it somewhere else, or I'm not interested anymore. How many of you think if you had that automation in place where every lead was getting followed up within 5 minutes or less, and every unconverted lead was being touched via phone and email and especially text message at least 5 times, you would convert at a higher level? Just give me a 1 if you believe that to be true. 100%. I mean, it's without question. And this kind of technology wasn't accessible to plumbing, HVAC, home services years ago. It's been around and people have been using it, like marketers like myself have been using this type of technology for a long time. We just never had the ability to apply it to home services. I'm super excited to say that we've now developed a platform called Conversion Amp, which solves for this exact situation. It gives you the ability. It's a marketing automation system that we'll set up for you, and it gives you the ability to pipe in your home advisor leads, pipe in your Angie's leads, and have automatic text message and calls go out, automatic drip follow-ups. Every call that calls in that doesn't get answered gets a text back, hey, we're sorry, we missed you. And then that nurture sequence for those unconverted leads. And so what I would encourage you to do, if this sounds interesting, it sounds like it is for a lot of you guys, just go to conversionamp.com. That's the platform. You can book a session. It's like a free demo. We'll show you exactly how it works and how it will apply to your business. Whether you hire us for your agency services or not, which you absolutely should consider doing, you need this platform. If you're not using automation, if you're not leveraging text automation, This is money being left on the table every single day. So give me a one if you're going to check this out. Like if you're going to go like schedule a time and look at the ramifications of this in your business. And it won't be no pressure, no obligation. We'll just kind of show you how it works. We'll show you some examples of the companies we work with that are using it, the results that they're getting.
Is this something that y'all handle in-house? And explain to me a little bit more. Do you
Yeah, so it's a system that we would give your dispatchers access to. We would set the whole thing up for you, like the automatic emails, the automatic texts, the monthly follow-ups that you can put in place, and we would help you get it set up and facilitated. Rick, I don't know if you can unmute for a second. Rick is the director of our conversion amp project. Rick, are you with us still?
Yes, I am.
Can you just explain at high level, like in 2 minutes or less, kind of how this works and how we plug it in for them?
Yeah, of course. So really simply, really easily, we come in, step in, and if you do not have a web chat, we put a web chat and we start off with the web form on the website. Those two are the most important ones. And what we simply do is replace them with the smart form and the smart chat from Conversion Amp. And when a lead fills out that form, as Josh pointed out, they do receive an initial text message and phone call. If the phone call doesn't help, what then happens, they receive an email and a voice message. And then from there is a follow-up every 24 to 48 hours for at least 3 to 4 days. After that, what then happens is if nothing files up, they then get moved over. So nonetheless, this is basically help you to give the pressure off of your CSRs, allow them to still focus on dispatching jobs, but allow your customers to still feel that they're important every single time.
Love it. And it's priced, at $350 per month, which means if we can help you book one additional job because of this automation, it more than cost justifies. And look, if you're getting more than 10, 15 leads a day, this is going to pay for itself, hundreds of times over. So if you're interested in checking it out, definitely book on there. We can get you set up. I'm super passionate about this because I've already seen the results in our client base, and would love to get you set up on this technology. So now kind of like closing out here, right? Because I told you I was going to try and keep you to 45 minutes to an hour. Rick, thanks for hopping in and kind of filling in some gaps there for us. I really want you guys to think about what you can change on your website. Now, option one, which I'm going to encourage all of you to do, is consider hiring our services. Look, this is educational. I hope you got a lot of value from it. I'm sure that you did. But at some level, you probably at this point just need to have someone that can implement this for you. Dave, yeah, at the end, I'll let you guys have a quick conversation because I think it would be powerful. And so if that sounds interesting, you can go to plumberseo.net/schedule. And yeah, there it is. Just pick a time. We'll do an evaluation of your website. We'll do an evaluation of your current online marketing. And we'll show you exactly where there's room for improvement and what would look like to have us do this for you. You can have cheap or you can have good, but you usually can't have both. What you don't want to be cheap is with your marketing, right? Because this is the lifeblood of your organization. And we can do this for you at a world-class level. And for whatever we charge, in almost every case, we're getting a 6 to 10 time return on investment. So the money you spend with us isn't a cost. It's an investment in the growth and sustainability of your business. So with that said, make sure you think about your website from the lens of, does it speak to your target audience? Are you leveraging real authentic imagery? Are you using multimedia? Are you leveraging social proof? Do you have the phone number in the top right-hand corner? Do you have that web form? Are you leveraging your social credibility factors? Do you have clear call to actions? Are you leveraging special offers and incentives? This whole list, do you have that live chat bubble? Are you leveraging the automation? Is your site speed optimized? Love to hear from you guys in the comments. You're probably not going to go do all this stuff, but if there's like one or two things that stood out to you from today's session that you're like, okay, I probably should go do X. What is that? I'd love to see that in the comments. That's what our action items are here. Come up with at least 3 things that you can implement, that you can change, that you can update to improve your conversion rates. Come up with 3. And what I'd love to do, Dave, before you step away, it sounds like you want to have a heart-to-heart with Casey. So this should be an interesting way to close out today's session.
Yeah, so actually, I've been in business for 35 years, youngest master plumber in Wisconsin, and I'm a great plumber, but I'm crap at business. I mean, I just did what my dad and my grandpa and my 5 uncles, I did all the same thing, family-owned business. Everybody does that, so you don't stand out. So some of the experiments that I did, right when the internet was birthed by Al Gore, I had the first animated website in Milwaukee where an Aquaman would fly in and crank a pipe and it would go from brown to blue. And AT&T gouged me $5,000 for that one animation because they were the only ones developing websites. Aquaman was a complete bust, maybe ahead of its time, maybe too goofy. Then I went into blue collar plumber. Oh, everybody likes a blue collar plumber. Again, bust. The name killed it. The whole time I kept the Dave Burns Plumbing, the family name, and you should always keep that. Casey Hill, that's a great name. Use that in your website. But budget right away, and don't take offense at this. First of all, do you do just plumbing or the whole home services? You're muted. You're muted. Can you unmute, Casey?
Plumbing and air conditioning. But yes, no, we've had this conversation many times. Yeah, the budget.
Budget's going to kill you because what you're doing is you are attracting the 25% of people that call that you want to flush.
Right.
25% of people that call you, you don't want them as customers. You want to skim off the top 25%. Those are your best customers. That's all I scoop off. I dismiss about 50% of my people.
Right.
But that's just the way I run my business, a boutique company. But you got more guys, you want to double your size.
Yeah.
So instead of first of all, I wouldn't keep home services. That puts you in the league with handymen. You're not a handyman, you're a plumber. You're the top of the echelon of all constructions. That's why Josh picked plumbing, not carpentry, not painting, because he knows the most money is in plumbing, especially service work. But instead of budget, what about Boss Home Services, Brilliant Home Services, Choice, Prime, Premium, Premier, those kind of names? My brother has a place in Florida, Pro Plumbing Services, the Sarasota Plumber. So what city are you in?
Houston.
Houston. Okay, big market, lot of houses, a lot of old houses.
Oh yeah.
You're in a great market that's very exploitable.
Oh,
and
absolutely. That's you got Don Valentine, with Abacus pulling down 60 million a year, ARS pulling down 80 million a year, and here I am doing $1.5 million. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah, it's the name. It is absolutely the name. And if you get a great name, and have Josh develop a website and then implement that with these other Service Titan, all those things like that, I don't think you'll add 5 trucks. I think you'll add 10 trucks over a couple of years period. I kind of went the other way because I was starting to retire. I had no one to hand the business off to. So we have a cake and frosting. I just come in and I skim the frosting off. And I made $1 million a year gross with 6 trucks. I have 2 trucks now, still at $1 million.
Oh, wow.
So, but that's
those economics.
Yeah, right. So it doesn't matter how much you gross.
Hell of a salesman.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much you gross. It matters how much you keep.
Right.
In between, you can gross 10 million, and if you only keep 50,000, you've not accomplished anything.
Right.
You can also lose big when you take in big money. So that's the importance of a name. In fact, there's a company called Plumber's Success that's kind of going around out there. Some of these guys probably have gone to their seminar, and some have maybe signed up with them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say sign up with them, but for sure attend one. Don't be high pressured into signing up though.
Right.
Sleep on it, but you will learn. They have a lot to teach. Josh has a lot to teach, but
is it like CEO Warrior, that one of them type of things?
It could be. It's where a bunch of rich white guys know that this market here
Yeah.
is a goose that laid a golden egg. Plumbing is a goose that lays the golden egg.
Yeah.
And they see all of us guys undercharging. The way
Yeah.
they start out their seminar is they say, who of you in here mortgages your house to substantiate your business? Everybody raises their hand and we all feel stupid.
Yeah.
And then from there, basically they go through 8 hours of discussion and they're kind of selling their business. But what it boils down to is charge more money. Doesn't matter what the other guys are charging. So I have tripled my prices since 2008.
Yeah.
I've kind of had to because there was less work, and then the COVID. Now, I mean, I have to have someone in your business, an accountant, someone who has a business experience with accounting, figure out what your costs are, especially for that first hour. For me, my cost for that first hour is over $300.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and it is yours too. You just
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And where are you out of? Michigan?
Milwaukee. It's a
Milwaukee.
wonderful market. It's
Yeah.
just the right size, 1 million people, a lot of old houses, a lot of people with money, and a lot of people that are tire kickers too.
Yeah.
So-
okay.
I'm gonna pause you guys right there. Dave, great feedback. Casey, hopefully some cool insights there. Excited to meet with you guys one-to-one, Casey and Dave, eventually when you're ready to pull the trigger and get this on board. For the rest of you, thanks so much for being on. I hope you got value. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out, ping us in the Facebook group. Dave, thanks for being generous and sharing some of your great insights here. That's a wrap for today, everybody.
I want Casey
Thanks
to
for
be
your
a
time.
success.
Thanks for your attention.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want Casey to be a success. Give me a call, Casey. The number's on the chat there.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Super generous.
Is there anything that you can email me for as far as like maybe a follow-up and give me time for some questions?
Yeah, Christian, what time is Casey scheduled for? Because I know, Casey, you've got a one-to-one scheduled. Christian, can you give him a buzz real quick now? Is that possible?
Yeah, without a doubt. I also have you on calendar tomorrow, Casey, 1:30 p.m. Central Time. So we should be good to go. I'll give you a call now and we'll connect. All righty, buddy?
Let's go through the weekend, maybe try Tuesday. Give me a while to think about it for, any questions or anything like that.
Okay. I'll go ahead and shoot you a text now. I just sent you Dave's personal contact info. I'll shoot you a text and we can coordinate offline. All righty, buddy?
Okay, perfect.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Have an amazing afternoon. Let's update our websites. Let's get them built to convert. And I'll talk to everybody again sometime real soon.
Nice meeting you guys. Thank you so much, Josh.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
Dave.